Hey man, I'm in my new place. Place in Oklahoma City. Okay. Weed is very legal. Of course, I have a card also for you. Right. So I was just thinking about love and hate here, like a long time ago. Okay, so this is my thing on love and hate here. On love, we really cannot have unconditional relationships very well either. Compromise is an essential ingredient in conflict resolution. So like one person cannot be doing all the giving. In relationships, we need to be able to get along, expect people to respect our boundaries and things. One person, for example, cannot do all the cleaning or giving in the relationship. It is necessary for people to have conditions on their relationships with each other. Okay, relationships can end and people involved may still love each other. So, anyway, love is everywhere. It's a fact too. You can see it in nature and in other people. So, like people that see love in nature are not cookie Minecraft. Okay, anyway, it just has lots of facets, like a diamond. There's the kind of love that mother experiences for her children, that we experience for our parents and siblings. There's love friends for each other, and there's romantic love, which it's all love that involves the same kind of behaviors, giving, compassion, and affection. Therefore, it is love. Okay. They say to have loved and lost is better than to have never loved at all. That's what they say. I've been in romantic love many, many, many times. Yeah, in high school, I was in love with two of the boys in my class. One of them was something of a geek. He was smart but quiet. I never told him I had a crush on him. He'd probably be surprised if he knew. I didn't know that much about him and have no idea where he is now. The other one was something of a class clown. He was voted worst dressed along with me at the end of senior year. He was one of the few popular boys who did not make fun of me too. Me, especially not me. Anyway, you'd probably be surprised if you knew I had a crush on him too. Anyway, after high school, I worked as an Easter Seals camp as a counselor. It was there I met another man who was also a counselor. He was a good-looking guy, rippling with muscles and eyes the same color as mine. The wiry build, I really like wiry build. Muscles, more than like big, bulky dudes. Anyway, right. So I fell in love with him. We partied together a few times when the campers weren't at the camp. I found out later that he was quite the piano player. Even though we were underage, we still drank great quantities of beer. He finally confessed to me that he was gay. After drinking quite a few, I cried in the bathroom and ripped my shirt off. I test the waters. He politely turned me down again, distancing himself from me. Bye. Anyway, I did see him again years later, and then he was one blonde guy. So respectfully, I told him to grow up. Actually, it was more just like a brag thing to say because he was like concerned, very concerned that I was still like way like after his ass or something. So I could see it. I haven't seen stuff. I love to hate to argue and hate to love to argue. That means I try not to get in arguments. They make me a little nauseous. However, I hate to love doing it because if you're gonna corner me and get me in a fight, I'm gonna have a blast. Believe me. I'll cut you to shreds with my sharp tongue and have a lot of fun doing it too, even if I feel like other shit afterwards. I read a book on a long time ago. I used the phrase hating well. So, okay, this is my little swerve on hate here. To hate well is hate the people that are to blame then. Don't hate the group they're in, don't hate their skin color, their gender, their religion, their sexual orientation, their sex, etc. I mean, if you're gonna hate someone, hate the person that abused you. Hate the person who betrayed you in spades. Don't transfer it somewhere else. Keep it focused where it belongs. People transfer their hate all the time. They transfer it because they're scared of who they hate, especially if they're small, helpless, and innocent, even if they weren't. Maybe you were powerless. Maybe someday you won't be. Okay, I mean, we gotta be careful with shit like blame, hate, and anger. If it turns to resentment, it's fermented poison already. Hate is better, and if you aim it where it belongs, it's better if you aim it where it belongs. Gotta be careful with vengeance too. Try proper channels first. I'm not encouraging any vigilantes. Sometimes forgiveness is not possible. Maybe when I was in my 20s, I dabbled around with preaching forgiveness, essential predators, until my Uncle Jim molested my cousin too. And plea bargained down to fourth degree misdemeanor charges. And doesn't have to register as a sex offender. James Massacre. I've since found out he molested at least 5 other children besides the 2 of us and got away with it. In my place to forgive him for them. I'm not the forgiveness police. Okay. Difference is the opposite of love, and sometimes it's the best you can achieve in lieu of forgiveness. That way you can walk away when you see them drowning in that river. I've seen it. Oops, did I say that? Sorry. Anyway, okay, on self-love, which is not the same as being in love with yourself. Or conceit. What's that called? Conceit. Being in love with yourself is conceited. Okay. From marriage, I learned all about self-love. I actually made an effort to love myself as I was. I think that loving yourself is the core of good self-esteem and real self-confidence. We love ourselves, we respect ourselves. I never really understood that need to feel like someone's other half. We are whole people as we are. I used to tell my ex-husband that I wasn't his and he wasn't mine. So I belong to myself. He used to go on and on about how he wanted to make me happy. It actually turned out to be a ball-based life, but I made some changes. I worked on throwing out this stuff about me that I really didn't like. Maybe I was learning to keep my temper better. When I would get really angry at the end, I like to throw things out. Right. I like to throw glass at straight. Okay. Right. I never threw anything at anyone. No intention of hurting anyone, but I get person satisfaction from the sound break glass. There it goes. Okay. I worked on saying something before I was yelling and screaming, and it took years to develop that self-control. I want to be someone I liked, not only loved. I didn't want to be like my father or stepmonster in any way, shape, or form. I said there was, for some other reason, or in addition to love, I wanted from someone else. I could learn to do it myself. For example, I used to love musicians too much. I honestly did. But you know what? The thing is, I just didn't have a drum. My drum set is my problem. And I'm not willing to. Yeah, so. Finally decided I could do this myself and spent years working at it. I just stopped going. I pressed myself when I just sit in a hand or within 4 hours to play it, basically. Well, that's on my mind. You love yours. There is always a starting point for self-love to grow. I guess that was not. Some people say we cannot truly love others until we learn to love ourselves. There's quite a lot of truth to that statement, but it's not entirely true. So, if we feel like we love others, not ourselves, it amounts to a lot of need, which comes across as neediness. Love is more about giving than receiving. I really believe that is true. How can we give if we feel like we have nothing to give? We cannot borrow God's eyes when we look at ourselves. Was all the petty stuff we did really that big a deal? Okay. We can start with accepting ourselves if we do not feel love for ourselves. It is likely the person we see in our mental mirror is neither as scary nor as great as we are likely to presume. Look closely at that person in the mirror. What assets does he or she have? What flaws does he or she have? We are stuck with things we don't like, but we must accept those things are there before we move on. We need to stop insulting ourselves and calling ourselves stupid. Okay. Take some time and look at the following areas of life: dating, living, performance, mental ability, function, person. Certainly, physical appearance, relating to others, romantic sex life. Surely you can find something to like be impressed with about yourself. Anyway, are there exceptions to the weaknesses you see? Might be worth your time to write down those exceptions. I'm not a piece of shit because I can punch a bitch in the eye. She hasn't coming. Anyway, I'm handing out according to me words today. It's speech bam. Oops. Women in particular tend not to give themselves credit for their accomplishments. Acknowledging your accomplishments is not the same thing as bragging. Bragging is extolling your virtues excessively in conversation. However, it's perfectly alright to give yourself credit. I found that my memory is not the greatest, and I've always had lots and lots of feelings and thoughts. I started keeping a journal as a teenager. Writing my journal, even after my stepmother knows wrong with everything. I just believe it helps me a lot. It helps me remember good things and good times. I need to write to sort out feelings and confusion. Not everyone actually needs to write to function, but I do. Okay. Discover your passions. Writing all forms of the arts and human rights are my passions. I have to engage with those things. I don't let anyone hold me back from my passion. That is self-love. Deepak Chopra says that our souls cherish every aspect of our life. Sometimes he doesn't know what he's talking about, but anyway, sometimes it is. Anyway, right. Learn to love the adult you are. Nobody's perfect. Perfection is not required to find love. As we learn to feel compassion, acceptance, even love for ourselves naturally breaks down into loving others. So, on friendships, we start out in life loving our family and friends. I think people should value their friends more than they do. Friendships are precious. We gain a lot from friends. We must be a friend to have a friend. That means respecting each other. It means keeping good secrets we tell each other. It means to some extent loyalty. It means doing little things to help our friends out, like giving them things. It means giving praise and compliments to each other. Giving is a crucial element of love, I believe. It means letting the little things go and not trampling on each other's toes. It means using discretion in what we share with each other, because jealousy and competitiveness can ruin good friendships. Some people recommend that friends not move in with each other because it stresses the relationship too much. Few things can ruin the best of friendships, like attempting to be roommates. They say that we usually have only one or two close friends at any given time. There are different kinds of friendships. Close friends are intimate friends who know us well. Casual friends are people we often see in public places and perhaps get together with once in a while. These are the people we have conversation with but are not really intimate with. Then we have acquaintances who we see in public and say hello to, maybe a few words. Most people have several casual friends and many acquaintances. This is normal. Okay, I've had two best friends my adult life. People used to tell me in my early 20s it was immature to have a best friend. Okay, I never believed them. I don't think it's necessary to stop having a best friend just because you're anything. Okay, conventional wisdom says that we choose our friends, but we don't choose our family. So there's lots to be said for tolerance and patience in relationships with family members. We don't have to tolerate drug or alcohol abuse in our relationships with family members. It's perfectly alright to love such people from a distance. Such people are a danger to my sobriety. We choose who in our family we wish to develop marriage relationships with, including parents. It is also impossible for a woman to develop healthy relationships with perverts or child molesters. It's very hard to have a relationship with family members who support and believe in apologetic activities with those people. Great apologies are pretty useless. We have the right to lay down boundaries, and unfortunately, some will not tolerate our right to do so, and will either ignore them or stop talking to us. And be able to let go of these people even if they are family. It is alright to not have relationships with family members who do not support us. On romantic relationships. Eventually in life, we begin to explore romantic relationships. This is an area where caution should not be thrown to the wind, especially for women. Women get seriously hurt, sometimes killed in abusive relationships. I've been suckered into many relationships with perverts and sexually abusive types of men in the now distant past. I had what could best be called a learned helplessness in these kinds of relationships. I was out of fear of being alone. I really did want to find a nice guy to raise a family with and did not want to be a single parent. I have two beautiful children with men like that and found the idea that they might abuse my daughters too was absolutely intolerable to me. So I gave my daughters up for adoption. Some days I refused to compromise, and it may have saved my children's life and innocence. I don't believe in any form of child abuse. Sexually abused men don't listen in the bedroom, don't obey women. They don't seem to have any qualms about hitting kids either. And I know they would not be able to stop them from hitting or doing much more until it stopped being my father. It's going on for over 10 years. I did have one twice with someone who is aggressively pursuing me treatment, and he went to take, I'm not interested as an answer. And I told him that a lot. I put up with him for a little while because my own attraction to him was blinding to the ill treatment. I really should have turned him in. Or getting confused. Anyway, I still battle with that learning helplessness. I don't battle what society requires as proof for sexual conduct. One man in treatment exposed himself to me. They did not charge him with indecent exposure. Did not. But this should have. He was charged with disorderly conduct. What exactly does it take for a woman to find justice anyway? Really want to know. I'm fed up with bad relationships. I guess that's good because I don't have any relationships with toxic people anymore. I refuse to put up with abuse. It simply isn't worth the pain. I learned about broken bones when I broke my ankle in February 2007 going downstairs. I don't want any person breaking my bones or murdering me. I lost my mother at a young age and I don't want to do that to my kids. I also take responsibility for my own feelings. This is essential for anyone in a healthy type of relationship. We don't have to put up with people blaming us for their feelings, even if they are family. Oh, sure, we can hurt others, and others can hurt us and make us laugh. But other than that, we must own our feelings. These are my feelings. We should develop a relationship with people who are willing to take responsibility for themselves. Something I learned to do since I was in like recovery treatment. It was something I was working on before I started using, and I continue to work on. I use I statements in conflict wherever possible. Not that I have many conflicts anymore. Can't blame my actions on anyone else either. I didn't make anyone else do anything either. I am a people too and deserve the same respect, trust, and love that I give others. I know that confidence, honesty, and some degree of discernment can keep the predatory types at bay. They sometimes punish us for honesty, but I often run from it like the cowards they truly are. Remember, we choose who we hang out with. We can change our minds anytime. We don't have to live in chains. We often have the key. A martyr in relationships sacrifices themselves for the sake of others. Being a martyr is not real love. You have the right to expect to be loved by friends, family, and romantic partners. You have the right to leave relationships when you are not loved. It's highly unlikely you will show another adult how to love. People's love cannot save other people, no matter how hard we try. It takes God's love to save other people. We do not need to be there. I firmly believe that the cowards who abuse women and children cannot be rehabilitated. They do not ever repent, truly try to feel bad about what they're doing. They do not. They do know that what they're doing, ladies, they do know what they're doing and can control themselves. They have that ability. In healthy relationships, each person feels respected. There is honesty and tact involved in what each person says. There are no threats of violence or suicide involved in anyone trying to get their way. In healthy relationships, there is no control tactics used at all. People who are in healthy relationships have no need to control others. In other words, in order to have healthy relationships, we must be emotionally healthy ourselves. People in healthy relationships try to be civil to each other pretty much all the time. Xerxes relying on treatment to our partners to deteriorate from civility and respect into something else. That was happening for relationships, unfortunately. When two people are together, it seems like the more they become tourist critical and angry with each other in a lot of relationships. You should probably keep this hash around their whole life. Anyway. The flight mirror just rubs off and then you'll put it back. Okay. Should be a level of trust and trustworthiness when there's real love of the parties. So enjoy spending time with each other. Healthy relationships, each person feels free to be themselves and do what they enjoy and allows the other person the same freedom. Each person's needs are considered important. Your sexual identity really doesn't matter to anyone upstairs. Okay. I'm sure as long as you aren't sleeping around with people, having sex without love all the time, shouldn't matter to other people that much. You can make your sexual identity as private or as public as you want. But I'm not to say it doesn't matter to many people who shouldn't be concerned with it. I do know that God us Jesus said you do not like it when people get physically intimate without love being involved at all. It isn't a sin to have sexual relationships with those you do love. Okay. Healthy sexual relationships add to each person's self-esteem. They are fun and playful, not dishonest, grim, and joyless. There are no victims in a healthy sexual relationship. It deepens meaning and intimacy. The vulnerability involved heightens the excitement as opposed to fear. Each person feels more like an adult. Healthy sexuality accepts imperfection and integrates the authentic parts of the self. There's safety involved in healthy sexual relationships. It can be very challenging, may bring real suffering. The people in healthy sexual relationships take responsibility for their needs and have integrity. The rules for healthy relationships go for homosexual as well as heterosexual relationships. Abuse does happen in homosexual relationships as well as heterosexual ones and should be avoided. I know people have been in homosexual relationships and experience abuse from their partners. Stay out of abusive relationships. It won't kill you to be single for a while. If you are afraid of being alone, that's something you should work on anyway. Sometimes abusive relationships do kill people. You might even discover that you like being single after a while. It's better to be alone than in a bad relationship. It's considerably less scary if you look at it objectively. If you find yourself in a bad relationship, get out as soon as you can. Abuse tends to escalate, and the control tactics abusers use tend to get more vicious over time. You're more likely to get killed in one than out of one, and even if the abuser has threatened to kill you if you leave, or has threatened to promise to keep you alive if you stay. If he or she has threatened to kill you, staying with him or her won't make it less likely no matter what the abuser says or does. This is not love, and all this deserves love. Nobody should have to earn a higher love. Sooner or later, many of us become parents and or authority figures in children's lives. Primary need children have is love. Many people mistake giving the child whatever they want for love. This is not love. An extreme example is handing a child a pistol because the child wants it. We must take some responsibility for our children. We must teach them good ethics, morals, and values. We have a responsibility to raise healthy children who are more likely to be truly happy children. That means they need gentle but firm correction and they have messed up. One of our most powerful teaching tools is that of setting a good example. It's much better and more courageous to give a child what he or she needs rather than what he or she wants. Treat children as loved and valued people, and likely they will grow up loving and valued. The golden rule applies to children as well. Go back to when you were a child. What was fair? What really taught you what you needed to know? What behavior on the part of adults around you was unacceptable and ineffective? Okay. Did getting hit really teach you not to do certain harmful things, or did you just get sneakier about it? Okay. How did you need one to be treated when you were a kid? I am saddened that many people don't seem to embrace the higher kind of love that Jesus preached about. I know I have had problems with that stupid book, but what he said isn't directly among them. It's a higher form of love to have a social conscience. It's higher love to be concerned about the world we live in and people in it we don't even know personally. We can love who we want to. We have more ability to love others than we think we do. We do not need to wait to feel it before we show love to virtual strangers. Love is not just a feeling, it's an action. It's a noun and a verb. Get to a higher place in life. We must learn to love each other globally, not just our favorite people. Certainly, loving your enemies does not mean you have to stop loving your friends either. Okay, you're supposed to love your friends. It's supposed to be its own reward. See, that's no point. Our family. If it's a case of having to choose, then the situation bears closer examination. God will take sides with the innocent. This is called justice. Sometimes love is about taking someone's side when there's abuse or justice going on. It is love that makes us stand up for ourselves when our rights are trampled on. It's higher love to stand up for someone else. It's even higher love to stand up for people who don't belong in your race or social cliques. I call loving others when I don't feel it the will to love. I fake it till I make it. Cover the often talk about acting as if. I choose to apply that to loving others. It is much like smiling. If we smile, we can put ourselves in better mood. We show love to others pretty soon we start to feel it. It's also easier to detach from people when they're acting unkind, self-destructive, or abusive in any way when we have other options. God says he is jealous in several places in that book. It means love and jealousy are different sides of the same coin. It takes no effort at all to love those we are jealous of. Real love doesn't require much effort at all. Practice randomized acts of kindness and sensitize to beauty, reads a popular bumper sticker. The thing about jealousy is like there's other stuff attached to the jealousy, the other stuff is its own thing. Right? So it's like hateful jealousy. You can't deal with your hate. Okay. It doesn't take much at all to give, and always count. It costs nothing to be passionate. It costs nothing to take the time to listen to people. You do have something to give, even if you are broke. You shouldn't have to be on TV to do it either. Imagine if we all felt free to love who we wanted. Let the love flow. Okay. I have appreciation for the un-PC word gay when it comes to selling it. This stuff's like gay. Yeah. Going to hell for using the word gay. I don't argue people about the Bible and Bible as opposed either. What I said. I firmly believe it was written by men with free will, and you're going to change my mind. I've heard to what Jesus preached for I believe in the New Testament. I encourage. There are a lot of people that equate loving behavior with weakness. Then again, it takes courage to stand under peer pressure. It especially takes courage to go against the family if they don't seem to care much for others. Many musicians have said that sometimes your love feels like a crime. I learned about courage when I stood up to bullies in school. I didn't like those boys lifting up my skirts in elementary school, and I really didn't know about it. I've always been afraid when I stepped up myself, but I had to just do it. Excuse me. Okay, as I grew older, I grew to enjoy that feeling of danger. I've rarely been beat up or had my life threatened as a result of speaking my mind. I've been sexually assaulted a lot by standing up for myself repeatedly. Those people caused them violence. Again, leave me the fuck alone, kind of thing. Stop chasing me around. I embarrass them all the time. Stood up to people I thought could be child molesters too when they were holding children in questionable ways in public. I have reported people for possible sexual abuse to CPS too. I cannot count the number of times where I was the only person who stood up in a public place where someone was smacking their kid really hard and told them, "Don't hit your kids," because safety of public places, I'm not very sad myself and others than them. Thing is, the kid knows then that's not acceptable behavior because some of us didn't know that was wrong. We're confused. Okay. I think one of the most courageous things we do is live a life of non-violence. Self-defense is not violence in my book. Sometimes self-defense is necessary in cases of sexual assault. I just believe that turning the other cheek me, I only have to do it once, but I have a lot of sexual assault boyfriends because I took the non-violent stance too far. I didn't understand the ethics of my whole stance. I was also forgiving, like campgrounds. My honesty was people carried me out of those sick relationships so safely. And being honest is also courageous. I like the Wiccan read, "Thou wilt so long as you harm none," on purpose. I live by it and I believe it's courageous to do so. Try to live courageously, we may not cross the line of foolishness, but we will end up back on track and probably not the worst prayer. Courage is something I know about. I believe I'm a very courageous person. I think more people should try. Justice is not violence either. So if there's torture involved in eliminating someone who is a criminal, it's not justice anymore, it's violence. But somebody, if the bank robber is taking hostages and you have the chance to shoot him in the back of the head, kill him before he kills hostages, that's justice. Yeah. Is it too much of a stretch really to choose the path of courage if one is an alcoholic or addicted? For y'all, we weren't deterred from using by the idea of probable certain death. Why should we be deterred from doing the next right thing? It's probably less dangerous than me personally. I enjoy the adrenaline rush of facing up to my fears and doing what's right. I consider myself very courageous. If I can't do the right thing through direct action, I'll take indirect action. Where I've seen totally hopeless situations and or accomplish right. Courage makes me feel powerful. Sometimes I have a tone about what I feel that way. Sometimes. And I, like most other people, to some extent, enjoy that power. I have courage because I channel my dark desires into healthy outlets. I'm not afraid of my dark side at all, and it has its uses. Peace, love, rock and roll, Skittles, and